record, for those that don't know me, my name is Daniel Toscano. I'm an attorney with Drago and Toscano LLP. We're attorneys at law. We're zoning attorneys here. Our office is located at 15 Broad Street. I'm here representing Mike and Petey Print. The Prints had the opportunity to recently purchase 279 North Street. Together they have combined 35 years of residential living here in the north end of Boston. They have 3 young children and they want to make 279 North Street their home. Like I said, they recently purchased it. Right now, the legal occupancy is a 4-family residential dwelling. However, it's been occupied as a 5-family residential dwelling. So then I can go through the floor plans at one point. But what we're trying to do is to change the occupancy from a 4-family to a 3-family and to make some substantial renovations to the property. So what you see here is a photo of 279 North Street. Who's not familiar with it, it's at the corner of North Street and Fleet Street. You'll see the little parking lot there that hosts a few cars there. That does not belong to the Prints. That's a separate parcel. So we're just simply this building here. So what we want to do is renovate the property. Get through some of the. By doing so, we're going to encounter some zoning violations. And a couple of those violations, they should pop up hopefully. If they don't, I'll just read them off here. So a couple of the violations we have were extension of the use of the property. So the first floor, what we're going to do is first floor is going to be unit number 1, which is residential unit. The second floor is going to be the second unit, which is it's a 2-bedroom residential unit. Third, and it's the existing 3rd floor and the existing 4th floor, and the 1-story addition that we're proposing is going to be an owner-occupied unit for the Print family, including a roof deck for the exclusive use of the Print family. I don't know why it's not popping up, but let's see if we. There we go. The lot size, you'll see the lot size is a little over 1,000 square feet. It's in the waterfront neighborhood shopping district. The gross square footage of the entire property, once it's done, will be 5,700. We do have violation of GCOG. For those who don't know, it's the groundwater overlay district. So what we have to do is work with a civil engineer, making sure that we have no harm to ground level waters. We are working with the civil engineer. I suspect that will be done relatively soon. And what we do with the plans, we'll submit them to Boston Water and Sewage. We'll submit a no harm letter as long as Boston Water and Sewer approves the plan. Then what we'll do is submit our letter to the Boston Groundwater Trust, and they'll approve the plan. Dimensional regulations, so open usable space. In this particular district, you have to have 50 square feet of open space per unit, which is 150 square feet. I don't know why we were cited for a violation. We have enough square footage, open square footage to meet that violation. However, we were cited. I will address that with the plans examiner. However, if not, we'll just move forward and seek relief from the board. We have plenty of open space, as there's an outdoor terrace that's 122 square feet that belongs exclusive for the Prince unit, and also 422 square feet of open space on the roof, which is exclusive use of the Prince family, so that can cover our open space. The FAR, everybody knows in this district, FAR is 3. Right now, the existing FAR is 3.26. With the additional living spaces that we're going to add, we're going to go over 5. I think it's approximately 5. I think it's 5.6. Is it over there? 5.38. 5.38. So we're going to go up to 5.38, and I'll show you how we get to 5.38. It seems like a big jump, but we are going to utilize the basement for some living space. We're going to extend some living space to the side of the building. And I'll show you on the right side of the property, there's an open space. We're going to extend the property over to our abutting building, and we're going to go up 1 story. The rear yard setback is insufficient. We have to have 20 feet of distance from the property behind us. 5th floor proposal is going to be set back only 10 feet 4 inches. So we're set back about half, but we still need relief because we're not at that 20. And the roof structure violation. Roof structure violation is because we're altering the roof. We're adding a 1-story addition. We're altering the existing roof. So here's our property, just kind of an aerial view. We're right here. We're really surrounded by a lot of 55-foot buildings, other than 57 that is with J-Cliz right there. You can see them on the roof deck. but that's our property. And so here's the space. We're going to fill in, Dave, am I in the way? So we're going to fill in this space for the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and the new addition for the fifth floor. So we create an additional living space. We're going to go down into the basement. So that's all the additional living space that we're getting. That's why our FAR has increased so much. It's really just a stairwell right now, an existing stairwell right now that kind of goes into the upper floors. Unit 1 right now, you enter right here. However, the building has been demoed, so the's no residents in the building right now.
I'm curious about the front, the details on the front of the building, just above the windows and stuff.
Yeah.
On the left,
So we're
you see the detail,
Yes.
the architectural detail.
So originally, we were gonna eliminate the facade of the property.
Yeah.
However, I think the Friends like the facade, and they're gonna keep the facade of the property. So the original plan was to go up to 51 feet in height, and we're gonna make new floors. However, we're gonna keep the facade, so the height of the building, once we add our 10-foot addition, it's only gonna be 47 feet. So we're below, and we're gonna be much lower than, still several feet below 277 North Street, and you'll get a better view of that.
And the
So-
architectural detail on, above the windows?
Yeah, we're keeping that, we're keeping all
Okay.
of that, yeah. Except, so the garage, the first floor
First floor will be
needs to be
changed.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
All of the detail about the windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just another view looking down North Street. And just an aerial view here, another aerial view. This is us, right here. And so this is really the finished basement. So finished basement, we're gonna finish it because we've gotten out the building. It only makes sense to finish the basement. It's gonna be mainly used as storage, but once it's a finished basement, we're gonna add it to our living space. So once again, that's why our FAR really increases, but it's not gonna be attached. It's gonna be for the exclusive use for the Print family, but it's not gonna be attached to their unit as it's in the basement, and they're gonna be on the third floor, and hopefully the new addition on the fifth floor. But they're the only ones that are gonna be able to access that basement. So first floor is 551 square feet. So let me go over it a little bit. So you saw the original facade where you have a doorway on the right, and you enter the first unit right in the middle. So the front is gonna change. So you're gonna enter the main building on the right-hand side. You're gonna be able to access unit number 1 here, and then you're gonna go up this stairwell to access unit number 2. On the left side of the property is gonna be another doorway, which is gonna be the exclusive use for the Print family. So the Print family can access this doorway. They can go down to the basement here. They can go upstairs to their unit, and then they have an elevator here, which will go to the basement. It'll go to the third floor, fourth floor, and the fifth floor only. It will not stop at the second level, actually. So it's gonna be only exclusive use for the Print family. Unit number 2 is a 2-bedroom, 632 square feet. And, the prior, I think the existing plan showed that there was actually 2 units on this floor, so they're just making it one big unit. Unit number 3 is the Print family's 3,122 square feet. There's 3 bedrooms on this floor for their children, 2 baths. We move up to 4th floor, which is a continuation of unit number 3, 1 bedroom bath, which is the master bedroom, and for the Print and the addition here. So here's the addition, and here's an outdoor terrace. So the original plan that we showed last month, and after working with Jake, we made some alterations to the plan. So I'm gonna just go on that. So you see here, our roof terrace onto the the new addition, the 5th floor, we were set back to our property line. After working with Jake over the last couple of weeks, we set this back 1 foot 9 inches. We're gonna add some tall planters and hopefully this alleviates some privacy issues that we had. So we set this back. The original square footage was 160-something square feet. We dropped it down to 122 square feet. This area here, which is the exit, was a slider door, double door slider. We slight alterations. It's going to be a single door. So once again, for privacy reasons for Jake's property and the print. This stairway will lead to the roof deck. This is an outdoor stairwell, which will lead to the roof deck, so there is no head house that covers it. And also, I should mention that when I get to the roof plan, the elevator shaft, there is no elevator shaft going all the way up. And this is the extension of the living space for the print room. Moving on up here to the roof deck, we made some minor changes from the last time we were here. We're at 560 square feet of roof deck. We set it back from the front of North Street, 4 feet 6 inches, and a little on the left-hand side, but we're down to 422 square feet. And this is an open-air staircase, so there's no head house in addition to that. And as you notice on the roof plan, there is no elevator shaft that exceeds over the roof. Front elevation, as you see, the roof front door here for the main entrance for unit number 1 and unit number 2. Entrance here for the print family. We working out, we may have to go to PIC for this area right here, which is about 17 feet above the ground, and it's a little bay window, so we may have to go to PIC. However, we think possible some alterations may be able to comply with PIC process. Rear elevations here. This is our 4th floor, and this, the new addition to the 5th floor, so this will be the 4th floor terrace, and this has been set back. We have some plans here at a single floor. Once again, this is an aerial view of where we are. We're here, so once we add our 5th floor addition, we're still going to be several feet below this building, which is 277 North Street. And Jake's property is right here, so. And I know Bernie's here with Attorney Campbell, who will introduce herself, represents him, who lives right here at 50th Street.
Thank you.
That's it, I'll leave it there and I'll answer any
All right,
questions.
well, why don't we start, if there are abutters here, perhaps we can hear from the abutters. Jake?
Hi everybody, I'm Jake. Saw me last month. As Dan said, we've been working together trying to get to a pretty common ground. I think we're close. He mentioned some of the changes that we've discussed to date. My personal perspective is that I'd like to punt this another month so we can hammer out some of the final details and make sure that we're all 100% comfortable with the plans, from my perspective.
Okay, do we have another abutter?
If I could speak on behalf of my client. Hi, my name is Jocelyn Campbell. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Rudolph Friedman in Boston on State Street. And I represent 50 Fleet Street condominium. And my client is Bernie Sapienza, who's here with me today. And I did speak at the last couple of meetings for this project in opposition for my client. We have been trying to talk. We've been communicating with Attorney Toscano, who's been very gracious and sent us some materials to share with my client's consultant. They have recently found a consultant. It wasn't easy to do. They wanted to find an architect who could advise them on how these changes might affect them. Their objection right now is about the light, air, and view. The fact that 50 Fleet Street is directly across the street, and Mr. Sapienza will have his window. There's going to be a higher view, that something obstructing his view at this point if this project goes forward. And when I first looked at this project myself, I really didn't see what is the impact here on 50 Fleet Street, which is across the street. And as his Attorney Toscano was going through the pictures and showing you some of the view examples that he had before, that looks like that's 53.
That's 50.
That's on right now. And I thought to myself, okay, well, what is the difference? Because at one of the meetings, there was someone who complained that, wow, 50 Fleet Street looks like that's right at its lot lines. Why are these people complaining that this particular project is so tight and it's so filling up its lot lines and it's so congested? And I took a look at the two projects and compared them actually. And 50 Fleet Street is a completely different project. It's across the street, it's a condominium, and they have only a 75% of their lot covered, whereas this property here has almost 100% of its lot covered. Their FAR, floor area ratio, was 3, and this one is going to be 5.38 approximately. So these are some of the reasons that Mrs. Sapienza and other clients in the building are complaining and objecting to this project. They feel that the lot size is too small for what's being proposed. That being said, they are willing to consider these changes that are being offered. In particular, there's one that we saw tonight that we hadn't seen before, and that was the 4.6 feet, I think it was back on the railing on the top floor from Wall Street. That's not on the copy of the plans that we have. So Mrs. Sapienza and the others are willing to talk and consider, and I agree with Jake that bumping this out another month would be a good idea, so that everybody has a chance to work this out.
So Attorney Toscano, are you willing to put it out another month?
I think at this
Work
point,
things out with the neighbors?
we would like to move forward for a vote tonight. I think we feel confident that we'll be able to work things out with Jake, where we are very, very close. I'm not sure how close we are with Mr. Sapienza.
But what are we in fact voting on if you don't have the final agreement with Jake? I guess that's the question that I
I
have.
think you'll be voting on the proposal that's presented tonight.
Well, there's 6 violations that, I don't know that everyone, I can speak for myself, I can say that I really don't know very much about the code of Boston or any of the building stuff. We're not really talking about one violation or one abutter or one issue, we're talking about 6 violations. I don't know how many people are qualified to vote in favor or against of the violations that are being cited here. So the reality is that if we had more time to work it out, we might be able to come with more information next time that gives us the ability to do that.
With all due respect, I mean, we've met in August, you told us you had some pictures, you have not yet sent those, provided those pictures to our architect so we can get a site, line of sight for your property. You have been unwilling to really work with us, it's only recently.
Well, with all due respect,
meeting
Mr.
with
Toscano, the building was purchased
Campbell.
in December, and the demolition began in January, if I recall correctly. And we didn't find out about this proposal until the end of August. So you've had 8 or 9 months to work on this with professionals, architects, lawyers, developers, hang on, okay? And we've had 6 weeks to look at this, and we're novices. We don't know anything about this, so we're trying to get our stuff together to understand the project, so we can understand what our concerns are or what they should be, so that we can bring that to you. So the reality is that we would like to bring that to you, and even the one person that you may be even swaying to your side is saying, punt it for a month. So what's the big deal?
The big deal is, it's costing my client time and money to come back.
It's costing me a lot of time and money because it's happening, okay? I was minding my own business until this cost me time and money. So we're all in time and money.
Yeah, but we want to move forward, we want to move forward with the project. I feel comfortable that we'll be able to work things out with Jake as we have an agreement in principle. I think it's just really the final written agreement.
Do you have a hearing date?
We do.
What's your hearing
November
date?
27th.
So in fact, you could come to the next meeting before your hearing
We
date.
could, but I mean, you know, it would have been nice, honestly, to, by the time this is our second time here, it would have been nice to have some suggestions from Mr. Sapien. But
We have offered suggestions, we did.
You have
We
not.
offered you.
You have
We did,
not.
we have
You
offered.
have not.
Okay, so.
Excuse me, may I
You have a
speak?
question?
Question?
I'm in a butter.
Okay, sure.
I live in the building with Bernie, directly across from the project, and I'm in favor of the project without getting into water and sun and shade and circulation and whatnot. I think it'll beautify the neighborhood if it goes through, and I feel that it's a great thing for the neighborhood because it's an owner-occupied building with a young family. I think that's where the community should go. And I think it'll be a great decision that'll look good for a long time. Thank you.
It wasn't presented the last time, Madam President, I apologize, but we did conduct, based on our abutters meetings, we wanted to see a shadow study. We did conduct a full shadow study, was passed on to Councilor Campbell and went over it with Jake. And, you know, I don't know if it was fully presented at this meeting, but there is minimal, if not any, impact on 50 Lake Street.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a chance to have any people who are actually capable of putting an argument against whether or not that was done or not. And I'm not saying there is an argument. All I'm saying is we have not had an opportunity to bring someone to the table to look at that sun study, shade study, understand it. What I can tell you is that the top of Fleet Street is affected very differently than the bottom of Fleet Street. This I can tell you for a fact. And so the reality is that perhaps Mr. Fleming has his opinion on how he feels about it. I think it would be a beautified project if it had the same amount of floors on it it had before. It would still be beautiful when it's done. So the fact that he thinks it'll be beautiful by adding another floor, I don't think that changes how beautiful it'll be when it'll be finished. So there are different topics that we're really talking about, and I don't think there's enough information yet brought forward in order for anybody to logically vote on anything.
So, anybody else have any questions or comments? Yes?
Hi, I'm in a butter to them also, and I just wanted to say that, of their
Could you
character.
identify yourself?
I'm Karen D'Amico, I live on North Street,
Okay.
but also I've known them for a very long time, and they're willing to work with us, like, and to me, I had 19 units go right next to me. It's great when you have someone that's gonna live in the building and work with you. They have 3 young kids, so I think let's make it easy for them, for the whole city, because the building's condemned, it looks ridiculous. There's nails, there's everything, it's not safe right now the way it is, and they're trying to make it better. And I'm all for it, like, I think it's a great idea, and I know I've been at 2 meetings so far with them. I mean, what exactly are we waiting for?
We're also willing to work with them too, we'd like to
Okay.
offer, so
I think
we've
that's
offered,
great.
we have offered some suggestions on how to change it, we didn't see that brought forward tonight.
It's the
We
first
saw
time I've
Mr.
seen you, I haven't.
I understand that, I was on a trip out of the country the last time that this meeting was had, before that, none of us knew about this project taking place. So.
Hi,
so the-
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So we haven't had a chance, my point is, we haven't had a chance to bring the alternate plan to table.
Any other?
It sounded like from the calendar perspective that there's still another meeting before this goes on to the next step of voting. So I guess I don't see why we wouldn't just take that opportunity to let Bernie and myself continue to discuss with them and try and work this out, so we can then vote on it then and still enable them to vote at the November 20 whatever meeting it was that they have, that it will go to the next level of council or vote.
Can we ask for a resolution ahead of the meeting so we don't have to have?
Yeah, I mean, and that's another consideration is I would love to have been able to agree to this meeting, but I got the email at 6 p.m., which is very hard for me to react to.
Sure. Okay.
So perhaps it's like a week in advance.
Board?
I just wanted to bring up one thing and ask a question. We talked about short-term rentals before. There is, in the city legislation that comes into effect in September, there's one little quirk that was put in as a compromise to city councilors, District 7, District 4, where there are a lot of 2 and 3 family houses. And that is that if you're zoned as a 2 or 3 family, you can designate one of the units as an owner-adjacent unit, which can be an Airbnb, not limited to 90 days, but 365-day Airbnb unit. Now, one of the concerns that the folks that didn't really want to make this compromise had was that we're creating a perverse incentive for 5 and 4 units to come down to 3 units when they would then qualify for being able to do this Airbnb. So I'm not saying that that's part of your plan, but you happen to be the first case that we've run into where someone's gone from a 5-unit or a 4-unit down to a 3-unit, which technically makes you eligible. So the question I have is, are you guys willing to say, we will sign something that says that that other unit will never be an Airbnb and will definitely be only long-term lease?
I think the intention of the Prince family was absolutely not to have Airbnb. That's their family's here. I'll discuss with them some type of written agreement that we can present to the neighborhood, but the intent wasn't to go from a 4 to 3 because of the possibility of Airbnb absolutely never come up.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't even come up.
And there is a consideration, which is if for some reason in the future they don't own the property, it now is open to somebody else to be able to do that. And I'm not saying that's their intention. There's some things we can't control as what we own in the long run.
What I can suggest is, because I know we're very close, just working out some written language with Jake. Rather than coming back, I mean, I have no problem coming back then next week if everybody feels comfortable with it next month without a full presentation. Come back.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a need for a full presentation.
Unless we're able to, if we have to make some changes that works for everybody that's not on these plans, I'll present them.
Okay.
All right.
Mary, I'm sorry if you already mentioned this, but you're expanding the building over and against the building next.
Correct, so,
Who's that about, and what arrangements have you made with that about?
well, so we're talking about, so we're talking about here, 277. So 277, and quite honestly, hasn't been responsive. We sent them proper notice. I don't know who the owner is offhand, but hasn't been responsive. They're going to but we own that party wall, from my understanding.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so we own that party wall, so we're going right up against it.
Okay, so can we agree that we will then go forward, we'll have a vote at the next meeting?
We can agree, but like I said, not a full project, just,
Yes,
That's fine.
then I'll stay for the party.
okay.
Yes.
All right, so,
I want to double check the hearing date, and for some reason I have that the hearing is scheduled for November 13th. Are you sure that it's the 27th?
well, either
It
way,
doesn't
it's
matter.
still, our
But-
meeting is still before
But
that.
for me, I'd like to know.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
He can, he'll let you know. Okay, all right, so we are going to agree that that will be tabled until our next meeting, which is the 8th of November, okay?
All right, thank you, everybody.
Okay.